Today we're going to show you the Triton Aquapump MASS 250V. We're going to show you the design of the pump, how a system will look when the pump is working correctly, how the system will look if the pump's not working correctly, and a simple troubleshooting guide. So, okay, let's look at the pump. This is an electric submersible pump. This is the float switch. The float switch is a device that will control the water level, so it will turn on and off with a rise and fall in water level. This is the strainer, which is where the water goes for the pump to pump, and it is of this design to keep debris out of the system. This is the outlet pipe where the water is discharged from. This is your power cable. You're also supplied with rubber feet, which enables the pump to be elevated and gives you an extra 32mm of height. The next part of the demonstration is to show how this system fills with water and how the pump will start and stop. And we're able to show these positions with the measurements here. We're going to fill the system with water. And you can see the tank filling up. In this position, the pump is not working. So the pump needs to be almost submerged, probably about 3/4 before the pump will start. So you can see the water level rising here, up to 5 inches, and the pump is still not engaged. 6 inches, and 7 inches, and the pump will start, as you can see. And the pump will then switch off around the 3-inch mark. So what we saw then was the pump working correctly. So it switched on at 7 inches and it turned off at about 3.5 inches. And 3.5 inches is almost level with the pump casing here. So in this situation, the pump is on and will not start now until the water level rises again to 7 inches. Of course, if you have this fitted, then those measurements will change a little by 32mm, 1.25 inches. Okay. Now I'm going to show you what the system looks like when the pump isn't working correctly. So the liquid is entering the chamber, filling it up with water. As you can see, the water level is rising. And as we said earlier, it should turn on at 7 inches or around that point. Here it has not started. So if you see that the liquid level is now above the float switch, then this means that this pump is not working correctly, and then we need to look at some troubleshooting. As you can see, the pump is almost submerged. So this would indicate that the pump is not working correctly. So what needs to be done now is the pump removed from the system. So disconnect any pipework, lift by the handle. Never lift by the power cable. With each MASS 250 pump, you are supplied with some operating instructions. Now what you'll find at the back of the operating instructions is a troubleshooting guide, which is a way of finding out why the pump may not start. So, with those in mind, there are a number of reasons why a pump will not start. So you need to go through various things to check. The first thing to check, of course, is the cable and the power supply. Is it plugged in? Of course, we have a 13-amp plug here, but your system may be plugged directly into a circuit or a board. So you need to check that that is correctly switched. You need to check the condition of the cable. Is there any damage to the cable? If there is, it could be a reason why the pump is not starting. Then we can look at some physical reasons why the pump might not be working. We can look at the float switch, we can check that, and we can check inside the pump. So in the next stage here, I'm going to explain to you ways of checking the float switch and seeing if there's any blockages inside the pump. The first thing we're going to do is check the condition of the float switch. Now, lay the pump on its side, and you can see here this is the float switch. Okay, you can remove this bottom cover clockwise and take the bottom off like so. Okay, just tip the pump forward a little and out will come the float switch mechanism. What you're looking for is possible debris accumulated amongst these rings, or there could be debris in here. We suggest that you do not take this off, but try and clear this if there's any debris in there. Run that under the water, wipe away any debris. When you push this back, it's very important that you keep the large white section, sometimes it's black, but this large section goes in first. Push it in, offer up the cap and turn it back on, and just pull it down a little to make sure it's engaged. If it's not, it'll come off again. So push in and twist and pull. The next thing we're going to do is check if there are any blockages in the pump. Before you do this, it is best also that you check that there's no blockages in your discharge pipe. There could be a build-up of debris, dead animals. We've found all sorts in the discharge pipe. So please check your pipe work before you take the strainer off. So to remove the strainer from the MASS 250, first of all, take the feet off, like so. Then with a Phillips screwdriver, remove the screws. So there are 2 screws to remove, and then you've taken off the strainer. Then you will be able to see inside the pump, and you just see through there, which is the inlet of the pump into the pump chamber, and inside is the impeller, which is the revolving device that pumps the water. So what you need to do is put your finger in and see if you can rotate the impeller. If it rotates freely without any effort to turn it, then it is not blocked. If you find any resistance, then you have to take the pump casing off and remove any blockage. We're going to remove the pump chamber, so we have 8 screws to remove, which will enable us to take this part off and see inside the pump. This would not invalidate your warranty if you remove this part of the pump. So I'll start taking these apart and the pump round, enable me to get in there. I prefer to use a screwdriver because this is a plastic pump, and I find that if you use an impact wrench or a cordless screwdriver, there's possibility that you could over tighten a screw and crack the plastic. We can now remove the pump casing, and you can see there, that is the pump casing, and here, I'll just show you there, is the impeller. Okay, impeller turns in that direction. So what you're looking for is any debris caught inside around here. Often just by spinning it you can remove any debris. If necessary, you can undo the impeller by undoing that nut and taking the impeller off, and you can remove any more debris. So hopefully with those 3-4 checks you've found a reason why the pump might not be working. So there may be debris in the float switch, there may be debris in the pump chamber, or it might be something very simple with your power supply. However, if none of these still correct the problem, then please talk to your supplier. Thank you.